Still people in the line. Oh, it's 10:27.
We don't need this on feed anymore.
No, I'm gonna use it, just not today, because I think it looks funny next to.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Dana Boyle, and on behalf of Congregation Beth Chaim, it is an honor to welcome you to our Shabbat service this morning to celebrate the Woke family as Darren is called to the Torah. For those who wear hearing aids with a T-coil program, you can access our hearing loop using this program. We have headphones for those who do not have compatible hearing aids, and we have large print prayer books as well. The headsets and large print books are located on a small table by the entrance to the sanctuary. We want to maintain a warm and welcoming feeling for these services and create a sacred space that will inspire prayer. For those on Zoom, please help us by staying muted unless clergy invites you to unmute and participate. You are welcome, however, to write messages of congratulations and encouragement in the chat box. And while we will not always be able to hear one another, we would love for everyone on Zoom to sing with us. For those praying in person, we ask you to silence your cell phone. Although we are physically separated and some of us masked, we are all one community and in prayer and celebration. If you have any trouble with technology, our Director of Lifelong Learning, Ann Berman Waldorf, will be happy to assist you. Now I'd like to invite Darren to please come up. Okay, Darren, it is my privilege to present you with this gift from the Sisterhood, Men's Club, and Board of Directors of Congregation Beth Chaim. Thank you. It is an artist's rendering of your Torah portion. I hope this gift captures the beauty and complexity of our sacred teaching, and that you will remember the significance of this day whenever you view it. You look beautiful, by the way. We are honored to have you lead our congregation in worship this morning. Becoming bar mitzvah is an important step in your journey to a Jewish adulthood. We look forward to celebrating with you again at the end of 10th grade when you are confirmed. Mazel tov. To your family and friends, thank you for joining us in prayer and celebration this morning. Our service begins in the prayer book on page 100.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Good morning. My name is Adina Blum. I'm the rabbi here at Congregation Beth Chaim, joined by Stuart Binder, our cantor, and we're so excited to have a full house this morning. This week is a lot of firsts. This is the first time that a bar mitzvah student has been standing on this bima in almost 2 years. And so please have a little bit of patience with us as we get back into that choreographic mode. But we're really excited that COVID has settled just enough for us to be together in this meaningful way. Just a note about your prayer book, Mishkan Tefillah in your hands. If you want to open up to page, let's take a look. We're going to look at pages 110 and 111. Just to give you a sense of how our prayer book works. Oftentimes it's the 2-page spread that the 2 pages that are open to you go together with the Hebrew prayer on the right with a close translation underneath and alternative readings on the left. So English readings on the theme of the prayer that might reinforce different aspects of the liturgy. Oftentimes we'll do one of those things, and if we don't tell you a new page number, you can just turn the page and continue on that next 2-page spread. Anytime we're going to have you jump pages, Darren or I will let you know where in the prayer book we are. It is now my privilege to invite up Darren, accompanied by her parents Jody and Eric, for some words of blessing as Darren officially joins our adult Jewish community.
Turn around for a second. Just take that in. Just take it in for a second. Tell me when you're ready. Okay. I'll hold it. There is a Yiddish word known as beshert that comes to mind today. Of course, it is not in my nature to use Yiddish, so I do not expect you to know what it means, or many people here. So let me briefly explain. Beshert means destiny. While it is most often used in the context of one's soulmate, it can also be used to express the seeming destiny of an important event. To have your optimism and energy representing the very first bat mitzvah, thank you for smiling, keeps me laughing, back on the bima here at Congregation Beth Chaim in over 2 years, with all of your closest friends and family members here to join in celebration, I can't help but think, B'Sher, destiny. But I would be remiss if I did not thank Todd Wachtel, Mira Brzezowski, and the entire temple board for their tremendous dedication to safely reopening the synagogue. I'll take a second and just remind you, if you laugh at me, I'm going to laugh at you the whole time, and you got to keep a straight face. So. We are both so proud of you today, and always, for a number of reasons. Your unrelenting optimism, your strong determination, your genuine kindness, and today on becoming a bat mitzvah. You have been diligently preparing for this day for the past year. You made this a priority and never once had to be asked, ensuring that you were always up to speed and progressing in your Torah studies while maintaining a strong academic performance in school and rarely missing a basketball game or practice. I don't know where Jamie is or Brian, but they haven't missed a game. Through this ambition towards your Jewish studies, though this ambition towards your Jewish studies actually started a long time ago. When we enrolled Harrison in Temple Beth Chaim's religious school, you were just 5 years old. After learning about the temple program, you were bummed that we had not planned to enroll you yet. At your insistence, and maybe because there was an ice cream truck that you would get to go to if you joined the Hebrew school, you were hard to say no to then too. So we signed you up for Sundays at Beth Chaim, and we're so glad that we did. Through the years, on car rides home from Sunday school, you would enthusiastically share what you learned about the holidays and the Jewish culture. You would often re-educate both of us. You would rave about how kind the teachers and staff were, and of course, there were stories of wonderful friendships that you formed. As you stand before us today, fully prepared to ceremoniously become a Jewish adult and embody the responsibilities that come along with it, this is also a time to be reminded of how important it is to perform mitzvot, or good deeds. We are very proud of the efforts you have put forth into the nonprofit Leveling the Playing Field, which you'll be speaking about later. But it is the everyday kindness and generosity that you display that makes us most proud. Whether that is ensuring your peers are never left to feel excluded, or the simple act of thanking a veteran, your commitment to performing mitzvot started a long time ago. Our prayer for you on this day, and always, is that you continue to make the world a kinder and more peaceful place through the acts that you perform when you don't think anyone is looking. That you use your incredible instincts as a guide for making wise choices, and that you maintain your unrelenting determination to set your sights high, properly prepare, and achieve heights you never dreamed possible. Mazel tov, we love you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen. And because we are so incredibly grateful to have reached this special time and occasion, Darren's going to lead for us Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
Amen. Hugs and kisses. All right, we're going to invite Jody and Eric to go and watch from down below and participate as our service continues on page 67 in our prayer books. 67. Oh, and we have special honorees this morning. Darren's aunt and uncle, Amy and Mike Rollins, are going to read for us on page 67. Time to come up.
May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May the synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
Thank you both. Our service continues on page 77 with a reading from Darren's brother Harrison. Page 77.
Don't let me fall as a stone falls upon the ground, the hard ground. And don't let my hands become dry as the twigs of a tree, when the wind beats down on the last leaves, and when the storm raises dust from the earth with anger and howling. Don't let me fall. I have asked for so much, but as a blade of your grass is in a distant wild field, let's drop a seed in the lap of the earth and dies away. Sow in me your living breath, and you as you sow a seed in the earth.
We continue with the even numbered pages starting on page 80. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lesechvivina, lahavhin ben yom uvein laila.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, bokeach ivrim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz al hamayim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, amechin mitzadei gaber.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, anoten layaif koach.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir sheina me'inai, utnuma me'afapai.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani b'tzelem Elohim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani batorim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani Yisrael.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael bigvura.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifara.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
Elu devarim she'ein lachem shiur, she'adam ochel perotechem, ba'olam hazeh. V'hakeren kayemet lo la'olam haba, ve'eluhein, kibud avaim, ugmilut chasadim, v'hashkamat beit hamidrash shacharit ve'arvit, v'hachnasat orchim, uvikor holim, v'hachnasat kala, uvayat hamet, ve'yun tefila, v'hava'at shalom, bein adam lachavero, v'talmud Torah keneged kulam.
It's now my pleasure to invite up Jody for a reading on page 89.
There are 8 degrees in the giving of tzedakah, each one higher than the one before. To give grudgingly, reluctantly, or with regret. To give less than one should, but with grace. To give what one should, but only after being asked. To give before one is asked. To give without knowing who will receive it, although the recipient knows the identity of the giver. To give without making known one's identity. To give so that neither giver nor receiver knows the identity of the other. To help another to become self-supporting by means of a gift, a loan, or by finding employment for the one in need.
Please rise as we turn to page 106.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביום החון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן.
שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעולמי יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם וינשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילם מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvorei choshev, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol, hama'evir la'aretz, v'ladarim alecha barachamim, uvtuvo mehadesh bechol yom tamid, ma'aseh bereshit, ma'rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam bechokma asita, malah haaretz kinyanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach maaseh yadecha, va'al me'orei or she'asita, yifa'arucha selah, or chadash al tzion ta'ir, v'nizkeh chulanu mehera le'oro, baruch atah Adonai yotzer hamorot.
It is now my pleasure to invite up Darren's Namas, Sharon and Lyndon for some readings. Sharon and Lyndon.
In the beginning, even then, a new light was sown for the righteous. Promise that your light would become the catalyst, first for order and then for hope. Author of language and light, help us to use words as you have to cast light into dark waters and draw out justice and truth. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said, and like blinded, we saw that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. We reached for you down the centuries, your light moving before us as we climbed, fell back and climbed again, your Sinai of life.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha beveitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshokbecha uvkumecha Ukshartam leot al yadeha v'hayu letotafo beinenecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha lema'an tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai veitem kedoshim le'elohehem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
We now invite up cousins Tracy and Eric Kaufman for a reading on 119.
If people fall, can they not also rise? If they break away, can they not return?
The stork in the sky knows when to migrate. The dove and the swallow know the season of return.
What human instinct knows the time to turn back? What cue sparks the conscience of the soul?
We pray to sense this day anew, attuned to the call of sacred living.
We turn to page 122.
שירה חדשה שירו יהודים לשמחה חזתיה יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו אדוני לעולם ועד אדוני לעולם ועד
rise for the Amidah, which begins on page 124 and continues on the even-numbered pages.
Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Tzatai Zita. Na 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 Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Tzatai Zita. Na 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 Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Ufi Agi Tehilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Velohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak Velohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Velohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Hastei Avot ve'Imahot Umevi Geula Livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shmo be'ava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh ha'kol atah Rav le'Oshia, Meshiv ha'ruach u'morid ha'gashem, Mechakel ha'ayim be'chesed, Mechayeh ha'kol be'rachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofei holim, Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishene afar micha mocha ba'al gevurot umido melach melech mimit umechaye umasmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lehahayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mehaye hakol.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובן בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai our God, grant us your holy Shabbat as a heritage. May Israel, who sanctifies your name, rest on Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Page 137. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, Be'amha Yisrael, Utfilatam be'ahava tikabel, Uti laratzon tamid, Avodat Yisrael amecha, Baruch atah Adonai, she'ota levadha be'yira na'avod.
Amen. We continue with our prayer for peace on page 140. We always pray for peace every single day, but especially this week, this Shabbat, we are praying for world peace.
שים, שים, שים שלום, שים שלום טובה וברכה. שים, שים, שים שלום טובה וברכה. חן וחסד ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל עמך. ברכנו יוצרנו כולנו כאחד באור פניך. שים, שים, שים שלום, שים שלום טובה וברכה. שים, שים, שים שלום טובה וברכה. כי באור פניך נתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, תורת חיים ואהבת חסד וצדקה וברכה ורחמים וחיים ושלום. שים, שים, שים שלום, שים שלום טובה וברכה. שים, שים, שים שלום טובה וברכה. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. שים, שים, שים שלום, שים שלום טובה וברכה. שים, שים, שים שלום טובה וברכה.
We now take a few moments for silent prayer to find inspiration in our prayer books or to open up our own hearts for hopes and dreams for Darren, our community, and our world.
Adonai Tsuri, Adonai Tsuri, Goali, Goali,
now invite Darren back up as we continue with Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our Torah reading service, which will begin in a moment on page 244. 244.
The following reading is not in your prayer book. May my life be one link in a chain of goodness as I say the prayers of my ancestors. Help me to recall their devotion and faithfulness, their joy and suffering, which are in every word. Holiness is my heritage. May I be worthy of it. May our tradition live in me and pass from me to generations I shall never know, enriched by the truth that I have found and the good deeds I have done. So may I fulfill my task on earth and receive my blessing. And when the service ends and the prayers have ceased, help me to bring their spirit into the world in which I live. May I love God above all and my neighbor as myself, and be a living witness to the truth that never changes.
It is now my incredible honor to invite up those who have come before Darren, starting with her great-grandparents who couldn't travel to be here today, but I'm going to ask Ann to spotlight them on the screen, Rhonda and Bob Fine. And so we're going to, everybody wave, okay? They can see us, but we're waving by proxy, as well as Darren's grandparents, Sharon and Dennis Montag, Linda and Jim Wolk, come on up to the bima. Your parents, Darren, Jody, and Eric Wolk, and your big brother, Harrison.
אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני ואין כמעשיך מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור אדוני מלך אדוני מלך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד Adonai oz lamo yitin, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
And now I get to invite up Darren's cousins Haley and Tori Rollins to open the ark as I ask everyone else who is able to please rise.
Av harachamim heitiva virtzoncha et Sion tivne chomot Yerushalayim tivne chomot Yerushalayim ki vecha levad batachnu melech eram v'nisa Adon olamim. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udevar Adonai merushalayim. Su she'arim rashechem usu pitchei olam, ויבוא מלך הכבוד, מי הוא זה מלך הכבוד? אדוני צבאות ומלך הכבוד, סלה.
Darren, in my arms rests our Torah, the very teachings that have been passed down from generation to generation for thousands of years. Our tradition teaches us that God shared these words with Moses at Mount Sinai, but Moses, he in turn shared it as well and gave it to Joshua. Joshua gave it to the elders of the people, and so on and so forth through the generations until today. And so now it is my pleasure to invite the generations who've come before you to pass down the same Torah that they have taken into their arms and their hearts. And we are very confident that you will not let it rest in yours, but you will pass it on to all those who come after you.
In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Lamo Yisrael Bikdushato Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Gadlul Adonai iti Uniromema Shemo Yachtav Lecha Adonai HaGedula VeHaGevora VeHaTiferet VeHaNetzach VeHahod Ki chol bashamayim uvaretz Ki chol bashamayim uvaretz Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha VeHamitnaseh Lechol Rosh.
We are nearing the end of the book of Exodus, which starts out very dramatically and wraps up with a very serious engineering project. So it's no surprise, everyone's welcome to take a seat, that such an organized family would get this Torah portion with lots of rules and regulations and very specific instructions for what needs to happen. But I'm not going to give the whole thing away because Darren's going to teach us about it in just a moment. And so we are in Parashat Vayakhel, which begins with this verb of coming together as a community. And so it is my pleasure to invite up for our first honor, Nala Amod, Yaakov, Maya, Ufrima Malka, David, Vishoshana La Aliyah, Harishana La Torah, Jim and Linda Walk, Dennis and Sharon Montag for the first Aliyah to the Torah. And we have the blessings right here for folks. You're going to stand to her right. Whenever you are ready.
Es Adonai HaBaruch.
Baruch Adonai HaBaruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBaruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam. Asher Bocha Banu Mikol Armin. V'natan Lanu Es Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayakel Moshe et kol adat b'nei Yisrael vayomer alehem ele hadvarim asher tiva Adonai la'asot otam sheshet yamim te'aseh melacha uvayom hashvi yeh lachem kodesh Shabbat Shabbaton l'Adonai kol ha'oseh vo melacha yumat lo tvaru esh Bechol moshvotechem beyom haShabbat.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam. Asher natan lanu Torah emes. V'chayei olam notah b'tzolenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach, you can come on over to Darren's left. So we're doing the shimmy slide as we prepare for the next Aliyah. All right. Nala Amod, Yitzchak Tov, Yaakov Dafna, La Aliyah Hashniya La Torah. For our second Aliyah to the Torah, we have Jody and Eric Woke.
Baruch et Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer Moshe el kol adat b'nei Yisrael le'mor zeh hadavar asher tziva Adonai le'mor kehu me'etem teruma l'Adonai kol nadiv libo yeviecha et terumat Adonai zachav v'chesef unechoshet utechelet v'argaman ותולעת שני ושש ועזים.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach, we're gonna kiss our grandparents goodbye. And Jody and Eric, you're gonna come to the other side after they've gone back to their seats. We're gonna pause in the middle of our Torah service for a prayer for healing, page 253 in your prayer books and on your screens. We like to recite this prayer for healing with the Torah scroll open as we gain strength from its teachings and its words and its traditions. And we also hope that that strength can go out into this world for all those in need of healing. Is our custom at Bethlehem to share out loud the names of anyone who could use this prayer, as it helps us to send out our prayers for healing? So if you'd like to share a name out loud, feel free to do so now. So we continue together.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
Nala Amod, Bat HaMitzvah, Yafa Mira, Bat Yitzchak Tov, Yaakov Daphna, Aliyah Hashlishit La Torah. For our third and final Aliyah to the Torah, it is my pleasure to invite our newest Bat Mitzvah, Darren Emily Wolk, to recite the blessings.
Baruch et Adonai Havarach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ve'orot elim me'odomim ve'orot techashim va'atzei shitim v'shemen lama'or uvsamim v'shemen hamishcha v'liktoret hasamim samim va'avnei shocham va'avnei miluim la'ephod ve'lachoshen. Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach. Beautiful job, my dear. Now la amad, la hagbaha, la glila. For the lifting and dressing of the tar, we already have two of our helpers here, but I'm going to invite Harrison back up to the bima as I invite everyone else who is able to please rise. All right. You got it. Let's do it.
וזאת התורה ששם משה לפני בני ישראל, על פי אדוני ביד משה. יאללה לה 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 לה. Yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la.
Please be seated. We now turn to our Haftarah portion, a portion from the book of prophets that is appended to the Torah reading to reinforce a theme or a special point. And this morning's Haftarah portion is from the first book of Kings.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzah v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'nvi'ei ha'emet b'tzedek. Vayas Shlomo et kol hakelim asher beit Adonai et mizbach hazachav ve'et hashulhan asher alav lechem hapanim zahav ve'et hamnorot hamesh miyamin v'hamesh mismol lifnei hadvir zahav sagor v'haperach v'hanerot v'hamel hakayim zahav v'hasipot v'hamzamrot v'hamizrakot v'hakapot v'hamachtot zahav sagor v'hapotot l'daltot habayit hapnimi lakodesh hakodeshim l'dalte habayit lecha zahav. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sur kol haolamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber umkayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al haTorah ve'al havodah ve'al hanviim ve'al yom haShabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likedusha ve'limnucha lechavod u'litifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umverchim otach yitbarach shimcha befi kol chai tamid le'olam va'ed baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen. Another Yasher Koch, another fabulous job. And now we invite up your cousins, Jacob and Max Kaufman, to open the ark so we can return the Torah scroll to her resting place, as I ask everyone else to please rise.
עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש חדש ימינו חדש מקדם.
Everyone is welcome to take a seat as we'll now hear a few words of teaching as Darren shares her Devar Torah with us.
The name of the Torah portion this Shabbat is Vayakhel, found in the book of Exodus. Many years ago, Moses asked the community to volunteer to help build a traveling, gathering, and spiritual center called a tabernacle, where people could show their respect for God. Moses asked for high-quality gifts such as gold, silver, copper, colorful yarns, fine linen, olive oil for lighting, and much more. He also asked that people use their skills and strengths to contribute to the project. For example, if someone was a skilled builder, tailor, jeweler, or craftsman, their skills were considered valuable. These volunteers worked very hard to follow specific instructions for the project, which ultimately included jewelry, utensils, and furnishings. People gave what they could and were appreciated for donating their time, energy, skill, and belongings. Teamwork was needed to get all of the work done, and each contribution represented something unique. More possessions were received than needed as volunteers who were inspired to do so participated in the building of the tabernacle. In my Torah portion, an important lesson that can be taken away is teamwork. When people find a cause or something that they're passionate about, collaboration and working together can lead to positive outcomes. This is an important lesson because just one person trying to accomplish something doesn't always result in success. However, if more people help, work can get done more quickly and easily. When I think of teamwork, sports is the first thing that comes to mind. In the game of basketball, which is one of my passions, one person doing all the work and scoring all the baskets themselves will most likely not end in a victory. From my personal experience, if everyone contributes and tries their best by passing, screening, boxing out, and getting rebounds, the team will most likely win. In my Torah portion, building the tabernacle required a lot of teamwork and people with different strengths and skills. If everyone had expertise in the same area, barely anything would have been accomplished. Another real-life example of teamwork is working on a school project with a group. If one person takes charge and does all the work, it'll take a longer amount of time. But if the work is divided amongst everyone, people will have different responsibilities and contributions, and everything will get completed in a shorter amount of time. Teamwork can also improve communication skills, because when working on something together, it's important to talk with others and get your ideas across. I'm excited and proud to become a bar mitzvah. Throughout this process, I've learned more about the Torah and the Jewish religion. I now understand more about Judaism and the important values included in it. By becoming a Jewish adult, it's my responsibility to pass down Jewish traditions to the next generations. As an official member of the Jewish community, the next steps on my journey include performing more mitzvot, good deeds, which may be in the form of volunteering time to help organizations that I'm passionate about, and giving tzedakah. I look forward to celebrating Jewish holidays, coming to temple on the high holidays, and continuing family traditions in the future. For my mitzvah project, I organized a donation drive for a nonprofit called Leveling the Playing Field, or LPF. The mission of LPF is to provide new or gently used sports equipment to those who need it, so that every kid has an equal chance to participate in activities. I am someone who not only loves to play sports, but also recognizes the many benefits they have to offer, so this organization hit very close to home. I've been fortunate enough to learn about teamwork, determination, and leadership through my involvement on various teams, and of course, build some amazing friendships. Shout out to my Monroe basketball crew. In realizing that there are kids who may not be afforded such opportunities, I was thrilled to learn of LPF and eager to help make a difference. I created and distributed flyers throughout our neighborhood and placed collection bins here at Beth Chaim. I've also received equipment from family and friends who were very happy to learn that cleaning out their garage could provide opportunities for children to participate in sports. The collection drive will conclude on March 12th, at which point my family and I will bring the donations to the LPF warehouse in the Philadelphia area. I will also have the opportunity to sort the equipment in the warehouse to ensure the donations are able to easily be put to use. Knowing that children will be able to participate in sports feels like hitting the game-winning shot of a lifetime. As I finish up my Devar Torah, I'd like to thank the congregation for the beautiful and thoughtful gift of my illustrated Torah portion. Thank you, Rabbi Blum, Cantor Binder, Ann, and all of my religious school teachers for helping me prepare for this special day. Your dedication and commitment to Jewish learning has enabled me to read Hebrew, learn about our religion and the Torah, all while building a strong sense of community. Next, I would like to thank my grandparents and great-grandparents for teaching me valuable life lessons and always making me happy. I'm so lucky to have you all in my life, and I enjoy spending time with each and every one of you. I want to give a huge thank you to my brother Harrison for being such a fantastic role model. I really look up to you when it comes to commitments to school, sports, and friendships. You support me in everything I do and always have my back. I could not ask for a better brother. Mom and Dad, you are the most important lights in my life. You always make me smile, and I'm so lucky to have two of the best parents ever. Thank you for always helping me out, encouraging me to be my best self, and going the extra mile for me. And of course, thank you so much for putting this amazing, special day together. I love you so much. Finally, I want to thank everyone who's here right now, both in person and virtually. It really means everything to have all my friends and family with me today. I appreciate everyone who's come from near and far to celebrate this milestone with me. It makes me so proud to look around and see that I have such incredible and supportive friends and family. Thank you, everyone.
So we've talked a little bit about this story this week, but I'm going to tell everybody. It's about a young rabbi who just got out of rabbinical school and is celebrating her very first Simchat Torah at her brand new congregation called Beth Chaim. And she and her husband, who at that point in their lives don't have any of their own children yet, sit at a table to have dinner before the Simchat Torah consecration service. And they meet a really lovely family who is celebrating the consecration of their daughter that night. Her official entry into her Jewish education, which now I know was all you're doing, that you were the needle that said, get me in there, get me in there, get me in there. And lo and behold, a beautiful friendship began. It has been such an incredible pleasure for me to watch you grow up here at Beth Chaim. And I'll tell you what I've seen. I've always seen you be kind and treat everyone you meet with care and respect. I've seen you build friendships here, and I've heard about the amazing friendships you make outside of this place. I have seen you give back time and again, because clearly you've been taught to do mitzvot from the people who've come before you. What's incredible about your Torah portion is Moses asks everyone to bring their unique gifts. And they bring so much, he has to tell them to stop. It's too much. That's you. That's your family. You give of your hearts so readily, so willingly that sometimes I have to say, stop, it's your day, just enjoy it a little bit. Every time we gave you a new prayer, you learned it like that. I give you a homework assignment and you skip ahead and do the next one too. You're so incredibly dedicated. When someone asks you to give, you say, of course, how much? And you find ways to combine your passions with ways to make the world a better place. And I love that you found this mitzvah project, which I know wasn't so easy at this difficult time, but what a meaningful way to give back to others. I'm going to teach another Yiddish word. In addition to beshert, menschlichkeit. Menschlichkeit is the art of being a mensch, being a really good person. And that is in your DNA. That is how you've been taught, and that is how you act in the world. That when there's not a mensch in the room, there you are, Darren. You're going to be that mensch in the room, and other people are going to look to you and follow you. You've been an incredible leader, which is another theme of your Torah portion, as we see Moses leading the people, but also the artist, the head artisan Bitzalel, who's gathering all of the others to work on this shared project. When people look to you for inspiration and they want to follow you and they want to be on your team. I love that you are exactly who you are with your awesome Shabbat footwear last night, where you're like, I'm going to be comfortable and look great. And your incredible poise this morning, that you knew your stuff. And at every moment in time, you do exactly what needed to be done. And so I hope you feel incredibly proud of that. I'm now going to turn over to Cantor Binder, who on behalf of both of us and your Beth Chaim family are going to offer these words of blessing also from our Torah, which has been passed down from generation to generation, like I said, for thousands of years, but the words are still incredibly true today.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you with good and keep you safe. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. God be with you and be kind. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom. May you always know that God is close, and may God give you the gift of peace. Simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov. Yehelanu, 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 ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, ulecho Yisrael.
We're going to call Harrison back up to open the ark with his sister for our prayer Aleinu, which can be found on page 282 in your prayer books. As I ask everyone who's able to please rise, 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, ותקנו לנו עושה בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We're going to invite up Eric Wolf to share a reading on page 291 as we approach Warner's Cottage.
There are stars up above, so far away, we only see their light, long, long after the star is gone. And so it is with people that we love. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. Good. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. Today, we're remembering some of those stars Darren was lucky enough to meet, if only for a short while. Great-grandparents Rita and Al Rayner, and great-grandparents Natalie and Irving Walker. Walk, my name, I should know.
All right, stay up here with us. We're going to continue together on page 294 with Mourner's Cottage as we hold our loved ones in our hearts.
Yitgadal ve'yitgadash shemei rabbah. Ve'omad yivrach yirutei ve'omrith malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchayedecho be'Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kari ve'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mivarach. Le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach. Ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh. Ve'yitadar ve'yitaleh ve'yitalal. Shemei dekudesha brihu. Le'elam min kol birhata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Tamiran ve'alma ve'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'hayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
Amen. Zichronam livracha. May the memory of our loved ones always be a blessing. And I'll invite everyone to be seated except for Jody and Harrison, who I'm going to invite up. Oh, no, don't go anywhere. So this part is a family affair, and we're going to turn to Kiddush and Motzi. Kiddush, which sanctifies this special day of Shabbat, which is also a commandment in your Torah portion to honor this special day. And there's lots of ways to do that. And the grape juice within, sometimes wine, but today it'll be grape juice, is a symbol of our joy. And today our cup runneth over, and challah, because it's Shabbat, but sustenance that we need to go out into this world and do good work. And I know, Darren, that you are doing those mitzvot all the time. So when you're ready, Kiddush, hold up the cup. Yep. Perfect.
Al Kain Barach Adonai et Yom HaShabbat v'yikadeshehu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen. Precision. L'chaim.
Time.
And everybody can take this copy. All right, we're ready for Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Enjoy your challah as you finally get to take a deep breath. You've done it. We're going to conclude with another song for peace. If you'd like to follow along, page 343 in your prayer books.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, 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 יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו amen.
Darren, we've heard how your family is so very proud of you. On behalf of your Beth Chaim family, we are incredibly proud of you. But the most important of all is we pray that you are proud of you, that you never stop smiling, and that you shine the light that we know you have with everyone you meet. May you only go from strength to strength. Shabbat Shalom and Mazel Tov.